Today, we are going to be talking about how to write a personal statement effectively. I have invited my student Francis Auburn. His personal statement was amazing. He would come to share with us how he drafted his personal statement process and how to plan it effectively. Hello, Francis.
Hello, Miss Lynn. How are you?
I'm great, thank you, because it's such a wonderful day outside.
Yeah, the weather's not bad. It's quite nice. It's been quite rainy, so I'm glad that the sun's come out.
I can't wait to go out and do some running. So talk us through why did you start to study Chinese at the first place?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think I've always had an interest in Chinese culture. It's something my dad's interested in, Chinese philosophy and like the martial arts.
Really?
And I grew up, yeah. And I grew up watching a lot of Chinese movies that kind
Uh-huh.
of had a lot of Chinese martial arts in them.
Wow,
Yeah.
amazing. What has interested you about Chinese philosophy?
Yeah, so probably Tao is what I find most interesting. And like the concept of Wu Wei is something I find very interesting and something that I made a think sock presentation about, linking that to the personal statement that we'll probably get onto later. It's just
Yeah.
that like that idea of having an interest in something, just reading about it, exploring it, and then doing something with that information, sharing it, and teaching someone else about.
So you said that in school you offered in a think society. So you
Yeah.
offer like a talk about the Taoism, and that
Hmm.
helps you to kind of construct the thinking and your knowledge and the expertise in this area. Can you talk us through what are the differences between Western and Eastern philosophy?
Biggest difference I've observed is that whilst in the West
Mm-hmm.
there's a stark difference between religion and philosophy and secularism, i.e., atheism or no religion. In the East, in Chinese philosophy, seems to be a bit more murky, a bit more of a gradient. So, for example, Confucianism is both a religion and a philosophy. So people can lead spiritual lives and
Yes.
believe in certain philosophies without being, like totally religious. So I guess that'd be the difference is that there's clear cut, defined boxes, like groups, whether you're religious or you believe in a philosophy or kind of like more spread out rather than so
Right. So you are saying that you think Western philosophy is it has to separate the religion from the philosophy, either philosophy or religion, whereas the Eastern philosophy it can be combined as a whole. What do you think that's really why did that interest you?
I don't know. I think the interest in that just came from it was very different.
Yeah.
Society there worked in a very different way.
Mm.
I mean, the whole of throughout my whole time studying Chinese,
Mm.
it's a complete different culture, it's a complete different language, and that's probably what interests me most about it. That it's just so unknown, so alien to me, but I'm just fascinated by their different way of life. That's like the way that what interests me most about it. I just think it's very beautiful and very authentic.
Excellent. Yeah, because I agree with you. I think Taoism is an interpretation of nature and people, balance between nature and people, and how everything should works in harmony. Yeah, so let's go to the real topic here. How did you approach your personal statement? So once you know you wanted to, because you wanted to study Chinese and philosophy in uni.
Yeah, I'm now doing my degree is just a Chinese degree, but I will be able to take modules in philosophy, Western philosophy. But yeah, I will get to study philosophy with my degree.
Let's just read through some of your personal statements because I think it is just a really powerful message from the very beginning. Can you just read us the first paragraph for us, please?
Sure. It was after opening a version of my favorite childhood novel and seeing what I could only describe as a series of intricate symbols first introduced to Chinese. I was confused, yet curious, and was eager to learn this language so alien to me. Years later, when I visited China for the first time, I discovered a plethora of differences in culture and social norms. From this moment, I was certain that I wanted to explore the multifaceted nature of Chinese culture, develop my understanding of China's philosophy, history, and language.
That really caught my attention when I saw it. Talked us through, like, how did you start writing your personal statement? How long did it take you to prepare this?
Yeah, so I mean, I began writing it. Well, originally I was going to do philosophy, so I wrote my whole personal statement about philosophy, and I had to go back and write a whole new one of Chinese. The process was pretty much the same. Like I talked, about my own experiences with Chinese. I just wanted to convey my interest in Chinese. I applied to Oxbridge, and so I knew that the personal statement had to be academic, but also convey my interest in the subject. Yeah, that's how I started it. I think the introduction sums up kind of the whole personal statement. You kind of get a sense of what I'm going to be talking about,
Mm,
philosophy, history, and language, and also my interest in it. So
mm,
that's how I approached it. Really, it was
mm.
describing my experience of how I first came into contact with the Chinese language
Right.
and
Mm.
my emotions towards Chinese. Yeah, when learning a subject, it's also a feeling process as well, not just a thinking process.
So what process again?
Like a feeling process, like you actually gotta
Yeah,
like love what
feeling
you're doing.
process. Yes,
Yeah, so you
yes.
actually gotta have like put your heart into what you're doing. So
Yes, that's right. And also I can see, like, at least for me, I think your first paragraph is so clear to me what you're going to talk about, because you include a few buzzwords like, okay, the philosophy, history, and language is something really clear. So, but where do you start? Do you actually start researching about what you're gonna write, or you just write first and then change it later? What would you suggest people to do if they started their personal statement?
I suggest people sit down with a piece of
Mm,
paper and
mm,
they think about what is it they like about Chinese. And I think that is something hard to do, especially if you want to study Chinese at university. It is difficult. It's going to be difficult, and so you're going to know that this is what you want to study. So you really got to think like, do I like this subject? And oftentimes will be yes, but you got to think like, what do I like about this subject? That
mm,
could be language, that could be history, that could be philosophy. So start by sitting down and thinking, what do I like about this subject? And then you
mm.
find your area. For me, it was Chinese philosophy. So I went after I thought, yeah, I'm interested in Chinese philosophy. I went and researched the most famous Chinese philosophy books, the Analects, the Inner Chapters,
Mhm.
um, like that. Yeah, that's what you do. You find your interest in Chinese, and then you go and learn more about it. That would be the first step.
And also, I quite like the way you take it from approach that is not directly linked to Chinese, but that kind of expanded to such sort of wider range of areas of interest. And I think the professors or the people who are reading your personal statement, they will really appreciate that this personal statement is not just one facet, but includes a lot of academic interests, but at the same time, it binds into your own philosophy of life.
Yeah, completely
Right.
agree. It's not just about like writing, oh, this is interesting about Chinese language. It's also about what it means to you, what you've done with the information you found. I could have said, I think there's a common misconception about personal statements is that you talk about all the books you've read
Mm.
about your subject, and you do talk about the books you've read, but it's not just about what you've read; it's about what you do with it. So, throughout my personal statement, I'm talking about how I read the inner chapters and I learned about Taoism, and then I went and did a presentation on it at Philosophy Society.
Yes.
I was learning about Chinese history, and so like it's that process. You find information, and then you go and do something with it, and then you teach it. So like saying, I read listing 10 books about Chinese history isn't, I don't think, the right approach. I think it's more about your relationship with the
Yeah.
information you're learning.
Great. So, I mean, just to recap, I think probably the most useful practice for you before you write a personal statement is to actually deliver a society on the topic you want to address in your personal statement. And the second one is to apply to a broader range of interests rather than just focus on Chinese, probably also discover a bit more about doing a further research on this subject. And
Mm.
the third one is really to have your personal interpretation as well as the academic interests in it.
I'm lucky enough, we do pre-U at Trinity, and so we do get to learn about the culture a lot.
Yes.
You get to learn the history and the literature as well, which is great. I think when you're learning a language as well, it's easy to get caught up in this is a language that people speak. This is a language, that's part of a culture, a
Yes.
population. And
Yeah.
I think it's and that's why I talked about also when I went to China. Using my Chinese in practice, seeing how experiencing the culture for myself. I think that's one of my favorite bit, and what I'm looking forward to most is actually my year abroad at uni when I go and live in China for a year. And just
Yes, like
really,
experience a real work life as an apprentice.
exactly, yeah.
Great. So you have already covered, like, so you will definitely want to maybe use your Chinese in future, yeah?
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. I think that's it for today. Wonderful. Yeah, that is a great advice for the future generation of students who will also like to apply to Chinese. Thank you, Francis, for today. I hope you are successful with your future career in related to Chinese, yeah?
Oh, thank you, Miss.
Okay, thank you so much. 再见.
再见.
Press like or subscribe to my channel. I will release update a video a week. Thank you.